So this video will be about how to set up your short form content agency business systems and processes. I will give you all the tools that I used to scale my agency from $0 to $30,000 in sales. So it will be 3 pages document that we will go through together. I will share my screen. So let's not waste your time and let's get into this. Basically the process is very simple. So we have the Upwork right here. This is where you do all the outreach. You find the clients, then you get on the call. Then you have a Google Drive where you add the files that the clients sends to you. So raw footage, graphics, client assets, like anything that they share with you, right? Then you have the Trello board where you manage the tasks. And then you have the Slack channel where you manage your team. And then you have the Frame software where you manage the revisions process. So the clients can leave the comments and then you can make the changes if there's some need for that. When it comes to the systems, let's break it down. On Upwork, what you need to do. So you need to set up your profile. So that's image, description, and add your past experiences. And then you want to post a job post on client profile. So you're gonna have one account, but you're gonna have like 2 options on the Upwork. So you post a job post and then you want to see what messages you get from the people who apply to your job, and you can learn from the best practices what people are writing in their proposal, how did they set up their profile, you know, what description did they write, how many earnings they have, so you can see what's working and how did they do it. So just take inspiration from that, and this is for learning purposes. Create templates for proposals and answers to questions. So you know, on Upwork when you send the proposal, there are some questions the clients ask sometimes. So when you do it this way, you know, when you create a job post from the client profile, then you can select the questions that you want to ask, and then you ask them the questions, like the people who apply to your job. You're gonna see what answers are they writing, so you can learn from that and you can create a templates for that. So that means when you do that from the freelancer profile, which is the one that you will be using all the time, right? So you will be applying to jobs and you will have the templates to answer the questions. You will be prepared for that, right? Do that, and then the next thing is to record the introduction video. So I added the link for you in here, so let me open just quickly. So you don't really need to read anything right here. What you do, you just scroll to the bottom and then you see where it says stuff video intro examples, and then you can see, okay, that's one example, another example, another example. So just watch their videos, what they speak on the camera, use it as a template basically. So if they are talking about their services, you just change it and talk it about your services. And the video doesn't have to be that long. So this one is 2 minutes long, this one is 1 minute 20 seconds. So you get the idea. Then set up the outreach tracker. So this will be the tracker sheet. It's gonna be placed in Google Drive. You're gonna be using for Upwork, right? So you have all these columns. I prepared this 1 month in advance. So that means if this month is February, so I would create 30 days table, right? So it's gonna be February month, and every day how many proposals did I send. So this is the weekday, so that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on, the day. And then we have the proposals. So how many proposals did you send that day? How many responses did you get that day? And how many calls did you have that day? And how many new sales did you get on that day? Just fill them out and you're gonna have a nice table. At the end of the month, you will know your numbers. What is the percentage? How many responses you get? How many calls you book? How many sales you make? And how your week goes basically. So you can separate by Monday to Sunday, right? That's week 1. Monday to Sunday, that's week 2, and so on. So you will have the weeks separated, and you can do some tests if you want to. So week 1, you can test one type of proposals. Week 2, you can test different type of proposals, and you can compare the numbers. So this is very simple. That's one document. Another document is for setting up the finances. This is something that you need to do. you need to track how much you are earning and how much you are spending. So it's also very simple. It's Excel sheet, one document. You've write the date, and then you have the name. So what's the name of the input basically? So in this case, that would be a client name. What's the type? That's Upwork. The payment comes from Upwork, or the expenses are on Upwork, right? So what's the type? Then the income. So how much did you earn? Let's say 1,000. What was the expenses? So you did not spend anything. What was the staff cost? So you spent $500 on delivering the service, and this line would be at the top, right? So you have the sum of the month. How many sales did you make? How much expenses did you got that month? How much did you spend on your employee? employees that month, and then income minus expenses minus staff, that's the cash flow. Yeah, so the next thing is the call. Use Upwork meeting system. I know that some people use Calendly as an alternative, but I would suggest to use Upwork meeting system because with Calendly, when they book the call, they have to enter their email, but Upwork doesn't allow to share the contacts. So it's kind of gray zone because you can get in trouble with that. So I just always use Upwork meeting system and it works perfectly. Then on Google Drive, so what you want to do is you want to get a domain and set up your Gmail account. You use that domain for setting up your Gmail. So it's like @domain.com. So the domain will be the one that you purchase, right? So you will have a professional Gmail account, right? So you set up the folders on Google Drive. So I have two folders basically. I have one for negotiation and another one for clients. For negotiation, what I do is I just create a Word document for every meeting that I have. When I have a call with the client, I just take notes, and I just write out on Word document everything. Anytime that I need to go back to see what did we talk with that client initially, I can go back and I can read that document. What notes did I take? For the clients folder, so you have client 1, client 2, and so on, right? Each folder is a one client folder. Then you have client information, so that's like branding stuff, and then you have the content, which consists of the orders. So that means order 1, order 2, order 3, how many orders did they make. And then you have inside the order folder, you have the raw files. So if they send you the raw footage, so you can add it here. Then you have delivery files. So that's basically the files that you deliver to them. So that's video, graphics, anything that you do for them. And then you have the previous versions. So that's just like one folder that you put previous older files, right? So if you deliver one video and they ask you for changes, so you just move the older file to the previous versions, and then you keep everything very clean and very professional. Yeah, and then meeting notes, so this will be specific for the client. So the difference between negotiation and the client folder meetings. So negotiation is when you don't know if they're gonna buy your services or not. So this is the initial meeting. This folder for the client is when you sign them as a client, and then you have the meetings with them, right? So that's how I do. Then on Trello board, so it's also very, very simple. So you create a Trello board. You have to do in progress, revisions, internal review, ready to send, customer review, and done. So the orange ones are the ones that your team will be managing. So when they take on new task, they move it to in progress, then they move it to internal revision when they're done with the work, and then you will have to check the work. So if it's good to go, then it will go to ready to send, so you will be sending to the client, and it will be under customer review. So that means your client is checking the files, and if it's all good, then you move it to done. If not, then you move it to revisions, and your team member will take care of that project to make the changes. Then for the Slack, set up Slack channel, so it's also free. You want to add your members. If you decide to add clients to a Slack channel, then add them through external connections option. Do not do this mistake as I did myself. I was adding them as a team member basically, and then if you decide to upgrade your Slack channel sometime in the future, then you're gonna have to pay by members, and it's gonna cost you so much. But if you add them as external connection, which is right here, it means that you are not paying for their subscription, so they will be paying for themselves. So they will have their own Slack channel and you have your own Slack channel, and it's like merging them together. So that's basically how it works, and it's free to use if you just use direct message function. So on Frame, this website is basically for revisions. That's the purpose of this. Let's say you have created a video, so you upload a video for the client, so it will look like this. They open, they can watch it, they can download the video in high quality, and they can leave the comments. This is the comments bar at the bottom, and then you will have all the comments listed on the side. So that means it's gonna be easier for them to leave the revision comments, and then your team members can go to see what the client wanted to change, and if they click on the comment, then it's gonna open timestamp of that video. It's a very, very good thing, and it's gonna save you a lot of time. And how I set up the system on Frame is basically I have one folder for one client. I have then another folder separated by order, so which order was it and how many graphics videos did they order, and delivery files, so that's basically uploading the delivery files, and then previous versions folder. So when you complete all these steps, the next will be to build your team, and I will help you with that. So stay tuned for the next video, and thank you for watching.